everyone is ready. If teachers, if you're on, just send me a message, wave in the chat, let me know, and I will get started. I thank you for those who have come on early and who have come in to see a little bit about what our past parents and students were saying about the program. And we hope to have future success stories from this cohort as well. So welcome again. And this is grade 5 orientation. I am Miss Jackson. I can't hear you. Wait. Oh, you're not hearing me. Okay. Is there anyone else having difficulty hearing me? Is there anyone? Are you hearing me well? Just let me know in the chat or raise your hand. Okay. No difficulty. Thank you, Zachary. Okay, I've seen the responses. A bit of feedback. Oh, I sound far. I sound low. Okay, let me just see if I can rectify that issue very quickly. I sound low. Let me see what would be causing that. All right. I will try and speak up a little bit louder. Let me know if this is any better. Are you hearing me any better now? All right, I've changed the microphone. I've changed the microphone. Is this any better? Any better? No, I'm still very low. Can anyone let me know if they're hearing any better? All right, it sounds the same. Okay, let me get started. I'll try and work on that issue. Squeaky sound, that's weird. All right, sorry about that. I'm not sure what's causing that. I'm trying to use my microphone, so give me a second. All right, thanks again. Welcome everyone, and thanks for joining Talks Guys Organization Program. My name is Jackson, as I mentioned before. I'll give you an introduction to the other teachers, so we can be able to share a little bit about the program, about our history, our track record, and just to give you some technical advice on how to navigate the world. I'm getting a new microphone. Let me see if this is any better. This is the USB audio device. All right, much better? Great, I'm glad to hear that. Are you still hearing that feedback? Perfect, perfect. Thank you so much. Mr. Mantok saved the day with his technical capabilities. Thank you everyone. Okay, so let's get started. Sorry for the delay and the technical difficulties. All right, so the theme of this presentation is your transition to e-learning, the Mantalks Guide way. Mantalks Guide is an online learning platform. Mrs. Mantalk used to teach in person, and now we've transitioned to fully digital learning because we find that it's a lot better to be able to track the students' progress, and we have some benefits of being able to connect with you in this way, especially in light of COVID. So we'll be going through an introduction to Mantalks Guide, overview of adapting to online learning, what we expect from you as parents and as students, and a few housekeeping matters. So before we get into the meat of the matter, I'm just going to jump right in and introduce Mrs. Mantok. She should be online now, so I'll ask her to unmute and share her video so you'll be able to see her. For those who don't know, many of you would be coming from our grade 4 program. Mrs. Mantok wasn't teaching that program, so you'd have had Mrs. Wedderburn and Mrs. Jackson Walters, and now Mrs. Mantok will be your grade 5 teacher. So Mrs. Mantok, over to you. You can introduce yourself, even though everybody should know you, and share about the grade 5 program.
Good morning, students and parents. Welcome to this orientation, and thanks for being a part of.
We're not hearing you. Is anyone hearing? Okay, sorry. Go ahead. It's just me not hearing. Continue.
Okay. Good morning to everyone, students and parents. Welcome to today's orientation, and thank you for continuing to be a part of Mantax guide. We know you were on the grade 4 program, so happy that you will continue. Yes, some of you were on the grade 4 program. Happy that you have continued with us to make the transition to grade 5. Now for the new ones, as Ms. Jackson said before, I used to do the in-person thing, so most of you would have heard about Mrs. Mantax Extras program. So now we are online, and now I include grades 4, 5, and 6. So many of you, those of you who don't know me, I'll just tell you a few things about myself. I've been in the education system for a very, very long time. Maybe I have over 40 years experience in the education system, and I've worked with all the exams that you can remember. I used to do common entrance, then I went through all the GSATs, and now I'm into PEP. I've working experience at all the educational, different educational levels. I've worked in primary, prep, high school, and I've done programs at the University of the West Indies. All right. Other working experience include classroom teacher, exam marker for Ministry of Education during GSAT, item writer during that time also. I've been involved in curriculum development. I'm a textbook author, so those of you who are using the current social studies book, I am one of the authors of that. I've been a maths coach, junior schools challenge, quiz coach, and you can find out more about me as the time goes by. Anyway, we're not going to be focused on that, but just for those of you who want to know something more about me, that was the extra addition. So we'll be focusing on our program in grade 5. So when you were in grade 4, you came for 2 days, but in grade 5, you will be with me for 1 day. Now, the program that is offered on Mantax Guide is a support program. It is supposed to support your school curriculum. And we try to do it in the best way as possible. So you will always be at your optimum and you will always be at your top. So when you attend the class, you will be getting things that are related to the curriculum. So usually I start with foundation work. So sometimes when I start with some of you, you may be saying, oh, that is easy. But the reason for this is to ensure that everybody in my program has the foundation that he or she should need. Another thing that you will notice as we go along, sometimes I may be, because I'm working with the curriculum, sometimes I'll finish some topics before you started at school. So most time my students who are on Mantax Guide, they will always be among the top students in the class because they would have been doing some of the things already in this class. But guess what? When you go to class, I don't want you to get all sure that you know it already. So you must still continue to pay attention. And if you did something at your school, likewise, when you come to the class, you must still pay attention. Now the difference with PEP and the other exam that was preparing you for high school is that everything counts from grades 4 to 5 to 6. And it is more about being able to comprehend, reason, lots of critical thinking. So you have to do a lot of in-depth work. So I will offer like listening activities that you have to listen in class, because that is one of the things you have to develop your listening skills. And you will do comprehension from that. So usually in the beginning of the program, I start with simple listening activities. You have to listen to stories that I share with you online. You listen and you have to be able to answer from there. Now, when I do the lessons, I put up activities related to the lessons. So if you want to do well, you have to do the activities also. The activities are for reinforcement, and some of them are for testing. So apart from doing the work, we also have regular tests, sometimes at the end of each unit, sometimes at the end of term. So you have your end of term test as well, and you are given a ranking, and later on you'll be hearing more about the 90s club, because we have 90s club to kind of motivate you and to show you where we want you to go. But in saying so, we still want everybody to improve from where they are. So remember now, you know, so we will be doing all the subjects in that is offered in the exam when you reach grade 6, and all the subjects that you are doing in your class. So you'll be doing lessons in mathematics, language arts, science, social studies, and we'll be doing performance task activity later on. And I also do some ability work in grade 5 with you, because the earlier you start, the better. So when you go to grade 6, you would have really, you would have already known some of the things that you are going to be expected to do in that. So for the grade 5 program is a kind of gradual transition to the grade 6, where you will have to do your exam. So we start you off there, so when you get to grade 6, you're not so in awe or behind in anything. You would have really had your head start in grade 5. And of course, we'll be doing your performance task preparation in the 4th subject. While you were in grade 4, your performance task would have been in 2 subjects. Now in grade 5, you have to do it in the 4th subject. So the earlier you start, the better off you are. And that is why we have to do all the lessons across all the subject areas. So that is basically what I will be telling you this morning. So every Saturday as of next week, you will be with me, and because it's online, anywhere you are, you should be able to access the class. If you can't access it, make sure that you follow and go over the lesson to see what we have done, so that you kind of keep up with the class. So it's about keeping up with the class, being consistent, and doing the activities for reinforcement. Okay. So we are going to be continuing with other aspects of the program. This is just my little part. So guess what? I'm going to turn it back over to Ms. Jackson now, so she'll be telling you more about the technical side of it. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, Mrs. Mantalk. Let's see what's next. So leading from Mrs. Mantalk's great overview a while ago, I wanted to take some time to introduce the members of the team that you may interact with throughout the year, particularly for the new parents and students. So this is the Mantalks Guide team. You would have known Mrs. Wedderburn and Mrs. Jackson Walters for those who are in grade 4. I am Miss Jackson. I am the program director, program coordinator for Mantalks Guide. Mr. Mantalk, who should also be online, I'll ask him to unmute as well. And so you can see him. You'll see him a lot more in grade 6 as well, because he teaches some of the math in grade 6. But Mr. Mantalk, please unmute and share, everyone. He is the IT leader for Mantalks Guide. He's the one that designed the Mantalks Guide platform. So all of the things that you're able to do are thanks to Mr. Mantalk and his creative abilities. So Mr. Mantalk, we're not seeing you yet. I see you've unmuted, but I'm not hearing you. And we also have, while he gets his mic going, we also have Miss Mantalk, who is unable to unmute as well, but she's on the screen here, right beside Mrs. Mantalk. You will definitely see her as well in grade 5. She teaches the science part of the platform. Oh, here is Mr. Mantalk. He's just gonna shove into Mrs. Mantalk's screen. You're muted though, Mr. Mantalk, you're muted.
Hi everybody, my name is Mr. Mantalk. Yes, I'm the technical person behind the scenes. So any technical issues that you have normally come to me. Glad you are with us this year. For those who are joining for the first time, excited to see and hope that you will have a good time learning with Mantalk Sky.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mantalk. And let me just continue with the introductions, and then I'll ask Debbie. Debbie has a question, so I'll ask her to ask her question as soon as I finish with the introductions. But then we have Miss Odette Lewis. She's online. I don't know if you can speak, Miss Lewis. If you can, feel free to do so. Miss Lewis is behind the accounting scene, so she is the one that sends you all your receipts when you send your payments. Mr. Strong, I don't think he's on, but he does a lot of. He's the one that allows you to watch back the videos when you put them on. When you put them on the site, he cuts them up and places the recordings on your portal so that you can watch the recording of the class if you happen to miss it. And I do a lot of the behind the scenes work as well. We also have Miss Holmes. She's not on screen, but she is the person who is often using the WhatsApp line and responding to you via WhatsApp. If it's not me, it's her. So both of us will respond to your queries, direct them to the teachers, etc. Okay, Debbie Ann, please feel free to go ahead and ask your question.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm thinking that this may
I'm not
come
hearing
up.
you. Let me see. Okay. All right. I'm not hearing you. So when you are back with us, you can unmute and ask your question. So, right,
you
Mrs.
hear
Mantalk's
me?
team. Oh,
Can you hear me? This is
I am hearing you now.
Debbie,
Yes.
and
Yes, I'm
can
hearing
hear
you
me?
now.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Sorry
Yes.
about that. This may come, I'm thinking this may come in your presentation ahead, but I may have to jump off. So let me just quickly ask. For grade 4, we had the 2-hour Saturday and Sunday, and then the postings were done on, I think Monday, sometimes Monday, Tuesday. How will this Saturday class be broken down since it's 10:30 to 1:30? And what's the expectation for posting of the material?
Sure. So the material will be posted the same Sunday to Monday. That's the schedule for all of the material. So all 3 grades, the schedule is pretty much the same. Sunday and Monday is when everything is usually up by. Are you hearing me, by the way? Yes, okay. So we cover all the subjects. We may not do every subject each weekend, but we cover all the content. So it depends on what we have scheduled for the weekend. So we'll cover math usually every week, language, and either science or social studies.
Okay.
All right, let me come in here, Miss Jackson.
Sure, go for it.
So I just on this Saturday, every Saturday we do an aspect of mathematics and language arts, and the science and the social studies on alternate Saturdays. Okay.
Okay, great. Thank you for that.
You're most welcome.
No problem. All right, does that answer your question? If so, we can continue here. So, right, Mrs. Mantalk is supported by a dynamic team of teachers, educators, content creators, software developers, and administrators. So you're well supported on your journey towards the PEP exams. All right, so mantalksguide.com, that's our platform. That's where you do everything. That's where you attend class. That's where you do your work. That's where you can find out more information about the site. And for the new parents, that's where you'd have gone to register. So I'm going to take you a little bit into mantalksguide.com in a bit. But before I do that, I just wanted to give an overview of what we achieved in the last year. So in terms of, just to help you to kind of wrap your head around what is expected. So in grade 4, we did 135 lessons, 135 worksheets and tests, and we posted 144 recordings. So for grade 5, and grade 4 is still going on. So that number is not even complete. So grade 5, we had 120 lessons, 149 worksheets and tests, and 141 recordings. And grade 6, 146 lessons, 201 worksheets and tests, and 187 class recordings. And Mr. Mantalk, if you can remind me of the number of ability tests that we had done when we were preparing them for the ability portion, we had done, I think it was 30 or something tests. And by the time the students were ready with the ability for grade 6, we had posted so many tests that their confidence was really high.
Yes, it was around 30.
Right. So in terms of the schedule, you guys know that Saturdays 10:30 to 1:30 p.m. is grade 5, and you'll attend the class through the website. So let me just go through the website quickly. So this is how you access the class, mantalksguide.com. You would have been sent a username and password. If you don't have one already, you will get it before class starts next week, Saturday. So just check your email. That's how the login codes are sent. If you didn't get one already, you will get it. If you've registered with us, you will get it before next week, Saturday. Hopefully by Wednesday the latest, so that you'll have enough time to log in and check it out and feel your way around a bit. So this is what it looks like when you log in. You will see buttons at the top that show you how to access the live classes. So the live classes are accessed here by clicking on the button. This is for, I believe, grade 4. So that's why it has 2 buttons. Grade 5 will just have 1 for the Saturday class. And then this portal shows you what activities you have due. So this is the student portal where all the work is completed. The due activities will be at the top. The activities in progress will be in the middle. And once you've completed the activities, you'll see a button at the bottom that says completed. As a matter of fact, let me just log in so you can see what that looks like. You'll see a button at the bottom that says completed, and it will show you the group. It was completed. Okay, so when you log into your portal, the first place, the home page, is where you can see it at a glance, what activities you have due to be completed now. And then, right, so the completed section, you'll see the grade at the bottom right when the activity has been completed. Now, you'll also see a tab here with your avatar and the number of points you have based on, you get points for completing the activities. And then you can access the activities by subject by clicking on the tiles here. So if you click performance task, it will show you all the performance task work and language arts, etc. Now, there are 3 key types of activities that we have here. We have worksheets, lessons. The test is kind of like a worksheet, but we also have writing tasks, which the teachers grade. They go in and grade those. Everything else is automatically graded. The lessons, the worksheets, the tests, those are automatically graded. The only thing that the teachers will mark are the writing tasks, which simulate the performance task. Okay. So when you see, if you look at the top right corner of the tiles in your home screen, you will see the type of activity. Once you click on it and open it, if it is a lesson, it will look like this. And you'll be asked to navigate by clicking the bottom right-hand corner button. If you have any issues, you just press the refresh button at the top and it will load it for you again. Sometimes if you click too fast, it will have an issue continuing. If you do have a problem, you can always reach out to us through WhatsApp as well, and we'll help you to troubleshoot any issues that you're having on the website. So we have lessons and we also have activities built into the lesson. So this is a lesson, and when you go through the lesson and you click next, activities will be built in for students to complete as well. So I'm just kind of going through so you can see what an activity looks like, but each of the lessons have the content, and the teacher will go through the lesson. Mrs. Mantalk will go through the lesson, or Miss Mantalk, and then we'll put it on the website, and you will be asked to complete the activities that are built into each lesson. So each lesson has at least one activity built in that requires you to go in and put in the answer. This one, the one that I clicked, of course, the activity is right at the end. So the activities are of different types. I'm just clicking an answer. It's not necessarily the correct one. So it will tell you whether or not your answer is correct, partially correct, or incorrect, and whether or not you have a second chance. This one only had one activity, but sometimes for the math ones, it will have multiple activities built in particularly, and the student will just type in their answer and it will be automatically graded. All right, then we have worksheets. The worksheets can have a timer or not. Usually the tests have the timer, but the tests are have a similar format to the worksheets. And if it is a test, you'll see the timer at the top, so they can get some practice in completing them within the time that they have to do in the PEP exam. So for this worksheet, once the student selects their answers, you notice it comes up in the answer grid to the right. And then once you've finished, I'm just clicking answers here. I'm not looking at it in the interest of time. Once you've finished, you can press submit. I'm just going to submit it. And the grade will automatically come up once you submit your worksheet. So if you're in grade 4, you're used to this, you can continue, you know how to get this done already, but just in case you need a refresher, and then you see your grade come up automatically. So it's important for you to complete all the work on your portal each week. We know that given what is happening in school, you may not get to it right away, but it's there for you. And we definitely found that the students who completed their work were among the top students in the portal. So the 90s Club is where we, if you have achieved a grade of over 90% on the test that we have completed recently, or depending on which term or which month we have tests in, you will see your avatar displayed here. And the avatar, I'll show you how to change that in a bit. But the 90s Club shows the avatars of the students who have achieved a grade of 90 or more on their tests. My connection is a little bit slow today, so forgive me. But the 90s Club will show the name of the test. Here we go. And the avatars of the students who have gotten over 90, and then of course their grade at the bottom right. So we had tests in February, in December. So every time we have a set of tests, we put up the 90s Club. That if you came on early and you were hearing the students talk about the 90s Club, this is what they were talking about. They love to see their avatar up here. The same lessons and worksheets, etc., the exact same ones, we also have a different view for them, which is the schedule view. So you have the home view and you have the schedule view. And in the schedule view, you can see them posted in the order that we did them in class. So we would normally do the lessons in class, and then we put up the lesson for the students to complete. And then they will log into their portals as seen here and complete each of the lessons, worksheets, etc. that are on their portals. And anything that has the word due here, that means it's incomplete. And if it's for review, this is where we also post the class recordings. So the class recordings will be in the schedule view, and you'll just see the word recording, and it won't have a grade or say due or anything. It will just say for review. And if the item has been completed, you will see the completed button here. If there are any questions, feel free to raise your hand and I will definitely unmute you to ask the questions. And then last but not least, the avatar, the students can go in and customize their avatar. You can add eyes, hair, face, nose, etc., skin color, background color, etc. And the students really love to do this. Some of them use their avatars for multiple things. And then that will be what's shown in the 90s Club. All right, so that's an overview of the portal. I think I've covered basically everything. We're looking at doing some redesign soon, but for the July period, the portal will look similar to what we are showing here. And when you finish, you can always log out using this button here. It will take you back to the login screen. All right, any questions before I go back to the presentation? All right, I see someone has a question here. Go ahead and let me know your name. Someone raised their hand to ask a question. All right, until you can unmute, there is a question in the chat. Will the grade 4 students continue to have access to the resources until after PEP before they are enrolled in grade 5? They will have access until next week, the 30th, until after the exam. Yes, they will have access until after the exam. Go ahead, the person whose hand is raised, let me know your name and go ahead and ask the question.
My name is Donovan Wint.
It
Hear
just
me?
says Galaxy A50.
Donovan Wint. My name is Donovan.
I'm not hearing for some reason. Is anyone else hearing? Oh, I don't know why I'm not hearing. It's weird. Oh there.
Hello, you hearing me?
A while ago. 1 second, sorry. Oh, it just came up saying that the audio is need to detect your speaker. Where did this come from? Go ahead.
Yes. For the parental
Hello?
guide. Hello?
1 second. Still not hearing you. 1 second. Find USB. USB.
Hearing me now?
Let me change my. Right. Sorry about that, everyone. For some reason, Zoom has stopped here detecting my audio. It was working fine. All right. Is it possible to type the question in the chat? Sorry about the technical difficulties. I'm gonna have to move to another device to hear you. But if it's possible, please type the question in the chat. I'm sorry about that. Or if someone else can respond to him, go ahead. All right, 1 second, please. All right, could you go ahead again, please? Seems to be working now. Sorry, sir. Can you go ahead? Oh, okay. I said, will a new password be given for grade 5 or the password for grade 4 will continue? Mr. Mantov, you can answer that question, please. Sorry, I would have difficulties. All right. Okay, so Mr. Mantov will answer the question in the chat. Okay, so for parental access, will allow to make for more than one parent to access or just one parent per child. So you will have access to your student's login code. And so if both parents can have access to that code and they can log in and see the student's performance in the portal at any time. We are working on a parent portal that will be you'll be able to get a synopsis of the activity without having to go in and provide grades for each of them. And so that portal, you would have access on each of your students as well. So you have the access code for your students portal. So both parents can go in and log in at any time and review the information that is in their students portal. Will there be any updates to the platform to resume lessons if you exited before completion? We are working on an upgrade for that issue. So thank you so much, Nara. Normally it would ask you to start the lesson over. Sometimes the answer will be saved if you do that, and sometimes it won't. Oh, you're getting a feedback. Okay, sorry about that. All right, I will hope that has been resolved. Let me know if you're still hearing that feedback. All right, so thanks for asking those questions. And we will continue the presentation, keep asking you questions, and raise your hand if you're not getting an answer to your question. All right. So what you will need to log in, you will need access to the internet, of course. You'll need a tablet, computer, or laptop. You'll need access to Google Chrome to log in. That's the preferred browser. So if your student has a tablet or another laptop, please ensure that Google Chrome is downloaded. Also that Zoom is installed on the device as well, because even though they are accessing it through their student portals, they will need Zoom to be on the device as well. So ensure that Google Chrome, Zoom, and those are the two apps you need. And of course, you access Zoom through the portal. So we don't need you to go in and log into Zoom each time. You just log into your portal, click on the button at the top, and it will take you to Zoom automatically. Everything is done through the portal. And of course, the student will need their notebooks to take notes. Sometimes Miss will ask them to work things out in class and give her the answer. So we need your notebooks available as well. All right. So students who do have a tablet, we recommend, it's not mandatory, but we recommend that you get a Bluetooth keyboard and a mouse if possible. So a wireless mouse and a wireless keyboard, so that it's easier to type in the answers to the questions when Mrs. Mantock is asking questions in class, etc. It will be better for you to have a wireless mouse or wireless keyboard. Optional, but I recommend for those who have a tablet. So we've been logging into the portal already. And we also went through the types of activities, how to access the live class. So that live class button will only work when we're having a class. So only work from 10:30 to 1:30. Otherwise, you can go to the schedule view to get a recording of the class. So if you click the live class button outside of those hours, it's not going to work. It's only going to work when you're having class between 10:30 and 1:30. All right, we went through this already, logging into the website and the different types of lessons, the different types of worksheets. Okay, I'm getting some feedback that you guys aren't hearing me. I'm sorry for the issues that we're having. I'm just going to plug back in my mic quickly. I won't be able to hear you, but you can hear me. It's not, pardon me? 1 second, please. All right, sorry. Am I sounding any better? Right. Dashawn has a question. Dashawn, I may not be able to hear you, but go ahead. If you can type it in the chat, that would be great. But go ahead and ask it.
Yes. When you join the platform, do you have to put in a passcode or something?
Right.
Yes, you do. Yeah, yes, you do. You have to put in a passcode when you join the platform.
Okay, thank you.
You are hearing me, but I'm unable to hear you. Let me try one more time. Yes. Oh, I'm actually hearing. Go for it.
I was saying that if you had to use passcode, but then I got the answer, yes.
Okay, yes. So there's a password to enter the site. Yes, no problem. Thank you. My speaker is back. All right, so the worksheets and the test, we went through that, and the schedule view is where you'd go to access all the recordings of the class. The performance task work, so you will be given, we'll go through the performance task in class usually, and then we'll ask you to write the performance task responses in your books first, and then type your answers into the portal, and then we will review your performance task. The teachers will review it and give you a grade after reading your responses to the performance task. And then when you're doing work on the portal, whether or not it be lessons, worksheets, remember to click save and remember to click submit. Submit is on the top, the right side of the portal if it's a worksheet, and the top if it's a lesson, right? So once you do that, if you don't get your grade, that means your work was not saved and your work was not submitted. We spoke about the 90s Club, And let's also talk about how to access class. So when Zoom comes up, just like how you did to access this orientation, you will see the chat button, the raise hand button. Sometimes you'll see the Q&A. So you can use the chat to indicate that you need to ask a question or you're not sure about something, or you can raise your hand and the teacher will call on you. And then if you do get called on, depending on the forum of the class, you can use the mute button to mute and unmute. So you guys should be pretty familiar with Zoom. You guys are all COVID babies or COVID young kids. So you know the technology related to Zoom. If you're not familiar, that's okay. We will guide you through. We generally don't allow kids to have their video on in the classes though, because it's such a short period of time. We really try to focus and get as much in as possible. So to eliminate distractions, we will not allow the kids to talk to themselves, to talk to each other, and we allow them to only communicate with the teachers. We have at least 4 or 5 teachers. You see about 4 or 5 on now in general in class. We'll have that many as well. And the teachers will be able to get your questions, field them to Mrs. Mantok or respond to you directly. All right. In Zoom, generally, raise your hand, be polite, ask questions. And if you are rude or disrespectful to your teachers in Zoom, we have the right to remove you from the class, just to be clear on that. So don't unmute your mic unless called on, no writing on the screen or sharing your screen at all in class. I see some questions coming up here. Is it possible to have access to the grade 4 portal? We'd love to review some of the topics over the summer. Well, they transitioned to grade 5, so it will not be available after June the 30th, unfortunately. So because we're giving them one login code for grade 5, it might be the same as grade 4. Did Mr. Mantok say if it would be the same or different? Either way, the content will not be available after June 30. Danique is asking, is it possible to change the password given? You can send us a request if something is wrong with it. If it's that you forgot it, we can help you with that. But if something is wrong with the password, or if you don't like it, we can change it, but we will have to still give you what the password is, unfortunately, right now. All right. So you can reach out to the Mantalks Guide WhatsApp line for those kind of requests. The keys to success is what I call the trifecta of partnership between teachers, parents, and students. So, okay, before I go there, I see a question about how long each lesson is per class. Mrs. Mantok is responding there. It says 30 to 45 minutes. All right, so teachers, parents, and students. So the students, their responsibility includes doing the work on the portal, of course. They should have a quiet environment to learn. They should join on time. We start exactly at 10:30. They should have their notebook, possibly a bottle of water. And if they have headphones to be able to stay focused, they can use the headphones. Again, do all the lessons and worksheets that are posted and take notes when you review the lessons. So the lessons will be available, but if you write down the information, that's a great method of being able to recall it. So you can write down the information in your notebook, so you have that with you, just like you would have done in a regular class, even though the lessons are put up, so you'll have access to them at all times. But writing them down helps to give you a better opportunity to remember the information. Parents, your responsibility includes reviewing the reports that we send out, reviewing the work on the portal periodically to make sure your student is completing the work. We'll send you the information on if they're not completing it, but we also need your help with a little bit of hand-holding in that regard. So the students must complete their work, and we'll ask you to help us to keep them on top of that. It's best to understand your child's style of learning and what you can do to support them. A lot of parents will say, their student gets distracted a lot. So you can do things like incentivize them for being able to complete their work on the portal when they get a certain amount of points, because you get points when you complete the work. So you say, if you get to the 90s clubs, I know some parents did this. I said, if you get to the 90s club, then you'll get X, or if you get so-and-so points, you'll get Y, to help to motivate them and keep them encouraged. and just ensure your child's environment is conducive to learning. So they're properly equipped with the tools they need, the ones that I mentioned before, the internet, the tablet or the computer, and that they have a quiet place to learn where they can focus, and again, check their portals regularly so you can support them. All right. So can lessons be printed at home? Unfortunately, we don't allow printing of our material. And okay, and I see some other questions here. I'll get to them in a moment. I'm sorry for those who still say they're not hearing me. Maybe you can try turn up your device a little, hopefully. Right, this is an example of the portal, sorry, the reports that you get when we complete the lessons, activities, and worksheets. You'll get a report. Let me play that one more time. That shows the grade for each subject, the average for the class, and the number of activities in that subject that were completed. So you will be able to see at a glance how your student is performing and what the average of the class is. And so you can use it as a kind of a guideline to see what your student will need to step up in. So if it's science, for example, you can say, okay, only 3 out of these 7 science activities were completed. So the other, and if they were below the class average, for example, you would want to get them to complete the rest of the activities so that they can do, so they can get their understanding can improve. So these are the types of reports we send out. When we send them out, we ask you to continue to review with them, go into their portals, look at what has been completed. You can log in at any time and review yourself, right? All right. Any questions? I see some questions. If anyone wants to unmute, my thing is working now. You can unmute and ask your question, or you can ask it in the class. All right. Okay. Housekeeping. So our WhatsApp line is info@mantalksguide.com, where our WhatsApp line is 2800002, where you can get answers. If you call us, you may not get us right away, but you're most likely to get a WhatsApp response quicker than an answer to a phone call, because the thing is that we have multiple people checking the WhatsApp messages, but the phone itself is sometimes it's not near to anybody, but we can all log in and check the messages at the same time because of how WhatsApp works. So if you send us a message, it's much quicker to get a response. We'll call you if we see you calling, though. If we don't get your call right away, we'll call you back as best as possible. If you have to send an email, we'll also respond, but that's a slower response time. info@mantalksguide.com is how you can communicate with us by email. If you're having any issues with the site, anything at all, we welcome feedback. We take your feedback with open arms. We love to hear from our parents and our students. So if you do have any feedback, please share it with us via WhatsApp. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, we're happy to hear you. And what we do is that we send out alerts every time class is about to start, every time we post new lessons or activities, or just general alerts on when, the holidays, or if PEP makes an announcement, or if we get anything from the ministry related to their exams, we will send all of that information out by WhatsApp. If the teacher wants to write, if the teachers will write letters every now and then to communicate, so we'll send that by WhatsApp and by email as well. So you have to check your email at least once a week, or your WhatsApp. You can get alerts. It's not a group. You're not going to get bombarded with messages from people all over. It's a distribution list, so you'll only get messages from us and you can communicate back to us. It's just it's two-way communication, just us and you, right? So you can add us, let us know if you want to be added to that, and you will get those alerts. For payments, ensure you include the child's name as much as possible, and then email or WhatsApp us a copy of the receipt and include the information here, the date, the amount, the reference number, the bank it was sent to, and the student's name. And if you're making a payment in the branch, you can do the same thing. Please email or WhatsApp us a copy of that receipt. And you can also pay in person at our office, which is located here at 14A Central Avenue, Kingston 10. That's the road off Constant Spring Road. So we accept payments by credit card or cash in office. The bank transfer gets your access updated as quickly as possible. And we ask that you send your payment in at least a day or two before your access is disrupted so that we can ensure that you are back and you're not locked out of class or anything like that. So everybody can be up to speed on what's going on. Send us the information at least a day or two before class starts so that we can process it. Again, if you have any questions, this is how you can reach out to us. And this is the Mantox Guide team. All right, I welcome any questions. Usually by the first of the month, it depends on, so our program is a subscription program. So if you pay on the 30th, the class starts on the due date for this month, for next month's payment is the 30th. If you pay on the 30th, then the next payment will be due the 30th. But since we're only doing 1 month in July, that really takes in effect in September. So if you pay on the 1st of September, your next payment is due the 1st of October. So you have a 30-day subscription, depending on what day we start, of course. So if we start the 5th, your payment is due the 5th the next month, right? So yeah, that's how payment is usually done. Are there any other questions? And you guys have been great. I'm so sorry that we had a few technical glitches, but you guys have been more than patient with us, and we thank you so much for bearing with us during those glitches. So if you have any questions, please feel free, raise your hand. I'll unmute you now and you can ask them. And we can hear a little bit more about your issues. Okay, I have a question here. Allowed to talk. Go ahead, Miss Downer.
Hi, good morning.
Why is my, okay.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Since the team is here, the Mantox team, and I am a parent, my daughter is going to transition from the grade 4 to grade 5. I just want to say thank you so much for the two grade 4 teachers. They are two excellent teachers that know the material inside out. And I'm so grateful that my daughter was a part of the grade 4 team. So I just want to say thank you again. I really listened to the recordings and watch those teachers as they teach on Saturday and Sunday. And I just want to say thank you very much for them.
Oh, that's so nice. We really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. All right. Yes. So for the person asking, we are a fully online program. Everything that we're doing is fully online. Somebody asked that in the chat. Oh, thank you, Joanna. Joanna says, I concur. Really appreciate it. So classes, okay, yes. Thanks for that question, Vivette, as well. Class will be in July. We end on July 30, and then we resume in September. There will be no classes in August. We will be on a break, a well-needed one. So we will have no access to the portal if you so choose, but we will not have any classes in August. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And the person who was asking what the rates are, they are on the screen. All right. Does anyone else have anything else to ask? All right. Okay. Well, I thank you. Oh, wait. We have one more. Go ahead, Russell. Why you took down your hand? Where's Russell? The days will be the same as they are on the screen. So this is a schedule from now till the end of May next year, or to the end of June next year. So the schedule is exactly the same as you see it on the screen. Go ahead, Russell.
Hi, when do we pay? Oh, you answered my question. Okay, thank you. I get it. I got it. Thank you.
Okay. So no, Megan, the answer to your question is no, we will never do that. So if you're not enrolled for the summer, will you not be able to enroll in September? You will be able to enroll in September if you're not enrolled in the summer. It's just that you will pick up where we left off. So you won't have the benefit of being doing the work that we did in July. Mr. Manta can let me know if it will be on your portal. More than likely it will be, but you won't have the benefit of going through it with the teacher in class. All right. Someone was asking what date in September. We will, once you've registered with us, we'll send the communication. You'll get advance notice on that. Usually we start the first week in September, but closer to the time, we will confirm. The first week in September looks like the 3rd, but as I said, closer to the time, we will confirm. All right. Anybody else have any questions? You can use the raise hand button. We'll unmute you and you can ask your questions. All right. I see one more question here. It says, I would, as a parent, like more information on the grade 5 PEP exams, the subjects, format, etc. I don't know if Mrs. Mantok is nearby. Mrs. Mantok, would you be able to respond to this question? She may have stepped away from the computer. So I think someone will try and get her shortly so that she can respond to that. But she did touch on it a little bit earlier when she was giving her presentation. She mentioned that it includes the performance task and the curriculum-based tests. So the performance tasks are in math, language arts, social studies, science, and the curriculum-based tests are the same subjects as well, but she can confirm and let you know. So it's usually performance task and curriculum-based tests, which are like the multiple choice tests. The performance task is writing. Yes. Yes. Okay, oh, Mrs. Mantak is here. Let me mute.
Jackson?
Yes, go ahead, Mrs. Mantak.
Yes, read the format of the grade 5 exam. In grade 5, the students have 4 tasks, which is a mathematics performance task, language arts, science, and social studies. Format, mathematics, you are given a scenario to solve, so you have to show your work in your methodology. So it's so the children will get a lot of practice in this. So you know, like for the language arts, you are given like some sources of information, and you have to read them and use them to answer a task. Sometimes you have to do some comprehension from the sources before you are given a task. In the task, you have to write something like maybe an essay, a letter, some sort of writing activity. Like science, also you are given the sources, you have some question to answer, and you have to give like solution to some kind of problem. And it's the same thing with the social studies. You are given 2 or 3 sources of information. You have to interpret it and use the same information to answer some form of questioning. So basically, it's about interpreting information and using details from the information to answer questions. So it's more, it's a lot of critical thinking and reasoning. So the children have to do a lot of reading. And so like when I start them off in the grade 5, I start off with a lot of reading and listening activity. So I usually start with stories, sharing with them, and they have to interpret and answer questions related. So I usually start off simple by using the stories as sources for them to answer things. And later on, when we go to the performance task, they are given sources to interpret and use information to find solution to a problem that is given in whatever they are asked to do. So it's nothing hard, it's just that it's a lot of critical thinking. So they are encouraging the children to be thinking at a higher level than just the recall knowledge base. So that is the whole idea of the performance task. Not just to recall information, but interpreting information and using the information to solve problem. All right.
Thank you, Mrs. Mantok. I hope that answers your question.
And excuse
Shitra.
me, Ms.
Go
Jackson,
ahead.
and
Go ahead.
remember now we give the student practice, practice, practice. So before the performance task, the 20-day performance task exam that they did in grade 5, for like about 8 weeks going up to the exam, every week they have a performance task, sometime 2. And in the end, we give them like for the whole class is just different performance tasks from the different. And we actually like to do them, go through them in class, go through with them, show them how to answer the questions, how to go through the information, how to sift the information. So they get the practice. So I wouldn't worry about that as yet. So in the beginning, we start by getting them to interpret and use information, and then the application will come when they can start interpreting information. So it shouldn't be a problem because we have time, and we do a gradual introduction to the different stages of the performance task. All right.
Thank you, Mrs. Mantok. I see another question here. Are you able to tell if a particular child is grasping the lesson? And if so, how is it addressed?
Well, that's why we give the follow-up activities after the class. So we give the follow-up activities in the worksheet that we put out, the things that we give them online to do, the tests that you do. So for example, when we give the examinations, like the tests, we look at, we evaluate them, we look at the questions that they, so for example, if you have a particular question that most children got wrong, that's an indication that we need to go over that concept, and we need to do some more revision work on it. All right.
Right. I see another question here that Mr. Mantok will probably have to answer. I know it's something that we're working on, but the question was, can the parents be emailed a weekly progress report for work done instead of having to log into the portal? And I know Mr. Mantok has been looking into that. So I have written it down here for follow up on that. All right. So yes. Yes, they definitely. Miss Michelle Storage has a question. If the kids get a break during the 3 hours, yes, definitely.
Yes, they have. We don't go straight through. They have like a 10 minutes break for break, and then they have a lunch break. So they have 2 breaks. One for like to eat something, use bathroom, which is 10 minutes after the first hour. Then we have a lunch break where they eat their lunch and they come back for the afternoon session. And sometimes, depending on what we do, we will extend sometimes we'll go over the 1:30, because sometimes, for example, in science, we start a lesson and we want to finish it. We'll maybe take out a 10 or 15 minutes from them. All right. So when you are for a Saturday, just bank it for, so don't do anything else before 2 with them.
2 o'clock.
Okay,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Agreed.
So
All
remember
right.
that they have 2 breaks on the Saturday, one for break and one for lunch.
Yes, definitely. So yeah, just to add on to the answer to Rosalind's question, as much as you can ensure that the student is doing those follow-up worksheets and doing the work in the portal, because we can't understand that they're not, we can't know that they're not understanding unless they do the work on the portal. So that's why we encourage you to get them on top of all of the work as best as possible. We know they have extracurricular activities and this and that and the other, but if they are focused on and committed to this program, then we ask that they complete all of the work that we put up. All right. So we're at the hour mark. I don't see any other additional questions or hands raised. So I think we can wrap up. okay, one more question. Should we expect the enhancement at the end of term 1? Which enhancements specifically are you looking out for? I know we're working on launching some enhancements by September, before term 1. So right, the end of July. Yes, he just came and shouted in my ear. The end of July. Okay, the updates with the reports, the weekly reports and things. Okay, right. So we'll work on that for the next term. If not this July, then in September when we resume. All right. Oh, the payment methodology. So once you register, that is email to your inbox as soon as you register. So it should be automatic how you make a payment. So just register on our site. And as you register, an email will be sent to you on the payment information, which are by bank transfer. Let me see if I can go back quickly. Bank transfer, or in our office, you can pay it directly to the bank. You can transfer it to our account, or you can pay it in the office at 14A Central Avenue. But all of that should be in your email once you click on that register button on the portal. All right. Okay. So if that's it, I would like to close with a little video from our parents. Some of you may have seen it. If you came on early, you would have seen it already. You can drop off if you have. If not, I want to share it with you guys. Have a great rest of the morning, and I'll see you next week. Sorry, let me reshare. No sound. Tell me if you're hearing now.
My name is Kyla Campbell, and I'm currently attending Campion College.
My name is Aisha Campbell, and I heard about Mantalks Guide from a friend of mine who had enrolled her kids with Mantalks before it was actually an online program, and had great things to say about the program. Mantalks Guide was the ideal complementary program to support what Kyla was doing at her prep school at the time, Creative Kids Learning Academy. The content was solid, the platform was interactive, and it really helped her to approach this in a disciplined way and to achieve the results that she wanted.
I think the questions on Mantalks Guide were very helpful in the exam. The program really did help me to be prepared for high school, because a majority of the topics we're doing that we did in Mantalks helped me in high school right now, and it's more like recall rather than learning everything. They had the 90s club in the portal, and because I'm competitive, I like to be in the 90s club and always have an average that's in the 90s. And so it motivated me to try harder to get into a higher grade. The lessons were very detailed, and going through them over and over again really made it stick in my brain. And I find it very interesting to look at to read the examples and the diagrams that they provided.
I liked how they set up the program. It was interactive. The teachers were exciting. The kids had the opportunity to really ask questions, to learn. And of course, I like the 90s club because in my family, we're competitive. So we always strive for the best. And so getting into that 90s club was something that we always wanted to do across all of the subject areas. So it was really a great way to motivate the kids and to motivate myself and my husband to help them to get there. My biggest advice is just start early. We started the Mantalks program in the summer before the PEP exam, and be consistent.
For the upcoming PEP students, I know it's hard sometimes when you have to be studying day and night, but if you continue to push through, you'll get the results you deserve. And everyone has much potential, and if you keep trying, you'll get where you want to be.
Kyla's achievement of becoming the top girl in Jamaica, which is an amazing achievement, was definitely as a result of hard work on the part of Mantalks Guide and their team, her school, the parent, and most importantly, Kyla herself. Mantalks Guide provided a platform that really helped to support her in achieving this goal and this dream that she had for herself.
All right, thank you everyone. We'll see you next week. Have a very good rest of the day. And actually we'll see you at 2:30 for class for those who are in grade 4. All right, our last class for the month. Bye guys. Bye everyone.